Yeah,
I'll
let's
make a
call it.
motion to call the meeting to order.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Dan, we're in order. Go ahead, take it.
So
Whenever
this,
you're ready.
this is gonna be really quick. There's not a whole lot to go over, but there's a couple things to go over, so we might as well do it. So as far as department updates, programming wise, we have very little things going on because there's not much that we're able to offer these days, and unfortunately. We do have soccer shots for tots, which is going. They are taking place on Saturday mornings between the hours of 9:30 and 11:45, I think it is. We have 41 kids total. No, that's at different times, so that's not all at once. And they're spread out amongst Maple Way Park. They do a fantastic job. Just a little backstory. We used to use Super Soccer Stars, who does the same thing. Super Soccer Stars charge $25 per day. Soccer Shots charges $18. Super Soccer Stars, the last few Saturdays we haven't had great weather. Soccer Shots cancels their classes because they want to give these kids who are 2, 3, 4 years old a decent day to play, not in a misty rain or anything like that. Super Soccer Stars, I can tell you from living in Reading, and Reading Rec uses them, they have had class the last several weeks in miserable weather. 3 kids show up for their classes. Parents are paying $25 whether they show up or not. So we have the best taught soccer program around, or the best organization around. And I'm just real happy to partner with them. And the numbers show that. They just do a great job. So I just wanted to give them a little bit of pub today on that. We are running some virtual fitness classes. A woman who I worked with in Arlington had called me up one day and said, geez, Dan, I'd like to do some fitness classes. And I've had countless groups from Wakefield and otherwise say, we want to do some fitness classes with you. And great, send me a proposal. And nothing ever comes through. Well, this woman called me up, said, I have a proposal in hand, sent it over to me. So we're offering, maybe 8 or 9 classes. We only have 5 people doing it, but people doing something. And I think this is something that we can build off of. And again, this is a relationship that I know who I'm working with, and she came with the right material. So those are going. We have the program with Wakefield Academy running, the virtual, hybrid school. We have 38 people in the kids in the morning. We have 44 in the afternoons. It's going really well. The staff does a really good job cleaning, a good job working with the kids. I can't say enough about the partnership with Academy right now. They're on top of it, and they're doing a fabulous job getting the kids where they need to be, when they need to be there. They're using the electrostatic gun. I know that was one thing that we talked about last time, that we wanted to make sure that we could use everything in our tool bag to make sure things are clean. So we're using that, wipes, sanitizer. We are screening the kids daily before they come into the building, asking the parents, to fill out a questionnaire online or in front of us. The staff has to do the same thing to make sure everybody's safe and healthy. And it's really working out really well. I obviously went into this with some apprehension and some nerves, but I can't say that it could go any better than it's going. So it's so far so good. As long as the numbers stay where we are and school stays open, this program will continue. And I see this really running through June. So we're in this for the long haul. We have an archery program that was scheduled to end today, whether we had to cancel it, so it'll end next week. Only 6 kids doing it, but 6 kids who are doing something that they may not have done anything else otherwise. So that's going. And finally, the community garden is wrapping up. That I've allowed everybody to stay in the garden until November 15th. Then everything needs to be cleaned up, taken out. If they don't, well, I'll have to do it in spring. And that has actually gone quite well. So they got a few more weeks there to kind of get their sites prepped and ready. I know it was asked last time we met what was spent and where it all go. So I did get some numbers today. We got a $50,000 grant from the state. We spent $54,000 total on the project. So the town kicked in $4 extra thousand. I don't have the breakdown of everything as to what the cost breakdown was, but I know the question was, did we spend all the money? We spent all the money and then a little bit more. So the program overall went very well. There's definitely things that I said before that I would like to do differently. You know, if I was in the office 40 hours a week, or if I was in the office at all for several months, it would have been great. But I wasn't, so kind of had to deal with what we dealt with. But I think overall it was a success, and the people overall seem to be very happy. I haven't had any negative comments. I've had some suggestions, which is great. We're open to feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. We don't know what we don't know. We can't change it. So we're working on that. Any questions on programs?
Dan, when does that start over again? The
Community gardens?
yeah, with choosing the out of the lottery or whatever it is.
Good question. So we will be putting out applications probably around February vacation time. I don't want to do it too early. I don't want to do it too late, because I want to really start opening that up. Hopefully April 1st, you know, weather pending. So kind of do the lottery for a couple of weeks, select it, give everybody, assign them to the plots, and then they can go out and do it. So we're kind of looking February, and we'll kind of see how it goes from there. Yeah.
So for next year, do we have another grant, or are we just use what we have and rolling with it?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
For next year, do we have a second grant?
No.
So do we have enough stuff in place where it doesn't really cost any money next year?
Well, so it's totally funded now. I mean, everything's been paid for. You know, the
That's what I'm asking. So it's ready to roll, basically.
Oh, it's ready to roll. I mean, we may need to add in some soil. When I was in Arlington, people actually had to bring that themselves, some topsoil if they want to do that. But the physical facility itself, done. We don't need to add one more dollar to it.
Okay, there's 2 compost bins down there right now that was overloaded.
Yeah, I talked to Dennis about that today.
Okay.
Yeah. Annie, you had a question?
It was along the similar lines. Do you have a sense of an annual operating cost for that ongoing?
For us, it should cost nothing. It should just be a revenue generator.
Great.
And granted, we're not making a whole lot off of it. We charge $50 for the plots. Some people can't afford it all, and we just give it to them.
Mhm.
You know, it's more about getting people access and doing certain things that's what we want to do. So it should be a revenue generator, though it's not bringing in a ton of money. It's bringing in something.
I think there's something to be said about the value to the community for it. So I think that's great.
Absolutely. Any other questions about programs?
Yeah, just how does the virtual you know, classes work that the lady proposed?
Yeah, so she sends us all the classes she wants to offer. We put it online. We obviously put it out there for people to register. And once they're registered, we give her access to rosters. She goes and sends them their virtual links that they can attend their classes to.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind
That makes
of very similar to what we're doing tonight.
Yeah. No, that's good though. That's a good thing.
It's not cheap. Do you know, are you guys getting turnout for that?
We only have 5 people total registered. So, I mean, obviously we'd like more, but she had overhead costs to get this all started because a lot of it is videos too.
Yep.
So, you know, it's a work in progress. I think and she's doing this, so where our classes are lined up with Arlington's classes. My old director in Arlington had left after I did. He's back there. So he and I kind of had an easy synergy of, hey, why don't we match up at the same time, offer the same things and run with it. So we did that. And I don't know what he's getting for numbers. But the fact that she can operate classes with 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 people is great and gives people just another alternative. And a lot of people from the few who I've spoken to about it, we're excited to be able to sit in their house and not need to go to a gym.
It's a nice thing to offer. You know, maybe it will grow.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, so moving on to Civic Center stuff. Again, minimal stuff here. We don't have a whole lot of rentals, and that's intentional. I have a bunch of requests, but we're not accepting a ton. We have some youth basketball groups from for this week. We have one from Stoneham, one from Melrose, and 2 from Wakefield who are doing it. Going forward, middle of November on, will be 4 days of Wakefield centric teams and 1 from Stoneham, who's been with us since October 5th, actually. So they'll be doing the gym from roughly 6 to 8 on each night. And then Kim Penny is going to do 2 clinics in the month of November. It looks like she's doing November 7th and November 21st. We are also going to allow Wakefield Soccer Association to do some Sunday clinics in November, December, and January, just 1 week in January, 2:30 to 4:30. And we're exploring pickleball. I want to do it with Wakefield being in the red right now and not knowing how long that's going to last. I'm hesitant. I had a conversation with Steve about it yesterday. He said, err on the side of caution, so I'm erring on the side of caution. I'd rather be safe and not make as much as we could than to jam things down throats and potentially risk illnesses. So it kind of is what it is. I wish we could do more, but we can't. So that's kind of where we are. And obviously the remote schools in the gym, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So the gym's busy, though not as busy as it once was. And we are holding all the time from January forward for WBA pending their season. I spoke to Gina yesterday via email. She's waiting on the high school schedule and seeing what they're going to do. My understanding is that MIAA is coming out with some sort of decision early next week. If it's not next week, the week after. And then we'll kind of know where we're at. If I were a betting man, and I'm not, I'd say there's not going to be any winter sports, but that's just me. I hope I'm wrong on this one. And that's all for the Civic Center. Any questions there? Jed?
How's the roof holding up?
There was a leak last week. There was. We had actually had a kid at the hybrid location, hybrid school, slip and fell.
Oh.
And I made sure that the facilities department knew about that. They did have a roofer out the next day. I went and checked it this morning. There was one tiny little drop in one area that's not unknown to us, and it was literally one drop. So I can't say that it wasn't water or something that was there. It just seems a little too far-fetched to that's what it'd be. But tomorrow will be the key, and Friday will be the key. So we're on top of it. The town has had staff out. Not our staff, but the roofers for the town looking at it. So fingers crossed.
Is that damaging your floor at all?
What's that?
Is that damaging your floor at all?
Well, there's one area underneath the far skylight that it's not damaged, but you can tell water was there. And that area has been addressed so many times. And that's the one that we originally, so after we had the first drops that I found, the next rainstorm, it didn't show up. Then today, that's where the drop was. So I know they're chasing a pinhole, but it has to be fixed. And when that one little guy slipped and fell, that became a problem now, a major problem. So an email did go out, so I put it in writing that this is a liability now that somebody could get injured. Let's make sure we get on top of that. Annie, I know you had a question.
I was thinking about the discussion we had at the last meeting about renting out the outside, the Galvin basketball courts with the lights on at night.
Yep.
Did you ever reach out to that group, and whatever happened there?
Good question. So I did reach out to Kim Penny. I reached out to Jason Pavey, and I reached out to John Walsh. Kim couldn't commit at the time. Jason and I were unable to find a time that mutually worked, but we were able to find times for Johnny Walsh's group. So John Walsh has been involved with Wakefield Travel Basketball for years. He is running a clinic there on, just checking my notes because I had it written down, Mondays and Wednesdays from 4:30 to 6:30 using lights. So it is there, it is running. As far as I know, I haven't heard otherwise. And I haven't got any complaints that lights are on for them and nobody else. So we did get.
What about, there was an outside group too that had approached you. Did that ever work out?
Once I told them that we were looking at internal groups, they went elsewhere.
Okay.
So and they were totally understanding about it and kind of got it. I said, this is where we're coming from and here's why we're doing this, and they were good about it. So.
All right. Thanks.
Julie, I know you had a question.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I know that you said you're concerned about renting pickleball, but you've rented to basketball groups. So like, what's the difference there for you?
So pickleball for me is, it's so many different people coming from so many different places at so many different hours. So the basketball, I know who they are and I can track them. With the pickleball, it would be more of, our pickleball community comes from New Hampshire, Peabody, Winthrop, East Boston,
Okay.
Wakefield, Stoneham, Winchester. It's literally all over. They're everywhere. And quite honestly, I reached out to a few people and I wanted to get their feedback on it. And their thing was, oh yeah, we love to rent the courts privately, and that's what I would do, but we don't want to wear masks. And for me, not wearing a mask in the building is just a non-starter. And if I'm not there to physically oversee it, and I'm not going to be there on Saturdays or Sundays, I do need time with my family.
Right.
If I can't be there to enforce it, I hesitate. If I knew that they would follow the rules the way they need to be followed, I don't think I'd have that many questions or concerns.
Isn't there a little bit of an age issue too? The people at pickleball, correct me if I'm wrong, are much older than the young ones playing basketball or something. So
Yeah.
there may be a little concern there on their part, as well as.
Some of the pickleball folks would go out and do whatever tomorrow. Others are, I'm not coming until there's a vaccine. So it depends on who we talk to, but they are a demographically older group, and a lot of them are set in their ways. And we've been playing outside together, and we're okay. And someone said, well, why don't you just drop the divider down in the middle? Well, if I'm going to do it, I do want to maximize our space. And we do have 3 courts, and we can run 3 courts. And I could rent it out to a group of 6 per court. So we're 18 total. I don't want to do 12. I want to maximize it, but I want to do it the right way and do it safely. And again, they have to wear masks. And I know that is a point of contention for some and not for others. So if I could be there to, for lack of a better term, babysit them, then I think it could work, because I'd be on them like white on rice. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think if we're not there, it's going to be, is everybody okay not wearing a mask? They're going to take off their masks because everybody's not okay. Well, for me, that's not okay. Our rule is masks on.
What guidance do you have from the state? What are you hearing? Like, I know that last time you said that the state we're not allowed to do pickup games. What guidance do you have?
Well, I expect more guidance to come out tomorrow, because Wakefield should be in the red for 3 weeks tomorrow, and we're going back a phase. We're not back a phase, we're going back a step. So we'll still be in step 3, phase 3, but step 1 instead. So groups will go from 100 outside down to 50. Inside, I think it goes from 25 right now. I think it goes down to 13. But I got to wait to see those. And that is going to change tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it's Friday.
And those people that are going to the clinics, are they checking in? Are they doing COVID screening every day like the Wakefield Academy is too?
So they are, depending on the team, they do have access, and they all know this, to my temperature scanner. If you ask our Board of Health, and they've been great with guidance, the scanner is such a false sense of security, because I can tell you, I go in there and do my temperature every day just because my temperature comes out to like 94.3. So if I'm at 99, I actually have a fever. But in reality, 98.6 is okay. So 99 would actually be in the realm. So it's kind of a false sense of security. They are talking to their players. If you don't feel good, stay home. And hopefully they're having conversations with the parents. Have you had this, or this? So far, nobody's come up with anything. Knock on wood.
And you probably told us this before, but how is it the coaches or the leaders of the groups that are keeping like a contact list?
Yep.
So you don't have the list, they have the list.
Right.
Are they signing something for liability reasons? God forbid somebody had COVID and.
We don't have any COVID liability waiver.
All right.
Yeah, they signed a rental agreement, which has all sorts of jargon in there, but there's nothing COVID related. And quite
So
honestly,
just for contract chasing?
Just for contact tracing, that's it. Yep, so they're responsible for if somebody in their group comes down, letting us know somebody was here at XYZ time. And of course, after they leave, Jesus is going through that facility and spraying everything down anyways. He probably does it 3 times a day. Any other questions about Civic Center space? No. Okay, so we'll go on to fields. So our field users, again, extremely minimal. Right now, it's just Wakefield High School, Wakefield Soccer Association. Youth Lacrosse does use Landrigan on Sundays. And there's a men's soccer group who contacts me probably once or twice a week to see if there's any open time at a Walton field. I'm sorry, at a Galvin field. Typically they use Walton after WSA hours. So those are our 4 groups. The group from that men's pickup soccer group is given all the rules that they need to follow. You know, wear the mask at all times. Make sure that they're using the soccer guidelines that are provided by Mass Youth Soccer. And it's just, again, it's a bunch of guys who are playing pickup. They're there for an hour a night, 1 or 2 nights a week. They've been actually very good to work with. And then of course, we already discussed the outdoor courts. But that's all we have for outdoor renters. And again, you know, I had Saugus High School reach out to me the last couple of weeks. If you have time available on fields, would you be open to renting it to us? I said, you know, well, right now they're booked and youth soccer's there, and they reached out again. When youth soccer's over, can we look into that? Met with Steve yesterday, but coincidentally I met with Steve. It wasn't a planned one, and it was, you know, be very cautious. Let's be smart about it. Let's try to keep things. I guess there's an issue with the dog park. Not that we have any oversight of that, but the dog park is having a lot of non-residents using it. Apparently, this past Saturday or Sunday there was a dog Halloween costume party or something like that with roughly 100 people there. And they're now putting a DPW staff there checking IDs. That's how serious we are with what's going on. That I was kind of given the let's be smart about who we're letting use fields right now. So that's where we're at.
So you have to be a Wakefield resident to use that park?
They use the dog park right now. Yep.
Was that always the case, or is this new due to
I don't know. It's not my purview.
COVID?
Not my purview. So I stay out of that one. But
Well, I think no one was checking before.
no one was checking.
So it was open, anybody could show up.
My guess is anybody could show up, but because Wakefield's in the red and the numbers are increasing, and there was 100 people there on Saturday for a dog costume party, the town decided to scale back a little bit.
So is this as a result of Saturday, they have somebody checking IDs?
Yep, that's my
So
understanding.
they weren't checking IDs 2 weeks ago.
No, they're doing it much like the pit. So any
And
other
Steve's
questions?
point about taking it slow is good too, because like Saugus is in the red as well, you know,
Yeah,
so.
quite honestly, I mean, Reading right now is in the yellow. It's 1 or 2 people away from being in the red. Everybody's gonna be in the red soon. It's
Yeah.
It's reality. So, you know, as much as I want to rent things out and generate revenues, I think safety at this point is more imperative than anything else. So, we'll err on the side of caution here and be smart. Any questions about parks, fields, facilities? I can tell you that the BMX track has had some updates. I'll tell you that Dennis didn't know about it and I didn't know about it. I'd seen pictures and obviously we had discussed it. I did talk to Roger, who runs the facility. He said they just wanted to do some general upkeep things, and add a couple bumps in. I said, "Don't let Dennis know, let myself know." You know, especially Dennis, he likes to have some buy-in on this and should have some buy-in on it. He had, you know, he was very, very apologetic about it and said he was just trying to do what was good for the track. Totally understand it. He did ask about doing a state race. I said, absolutely not. That's not even in our cards right now. Don't even think about it. Maybe this time next year we'll discuss it. You know, the town isn't allowing large events anyway. So, you know, if you want to have your small little group there and do what you do, that's fine. Contact tracing, all that stuff. Have your distance, that's fine. You have to know all the state rules. That's what you have to stay within. So they're not going to do any races. If people want to go down and use the track's open to use, but there's going to be no racing there. But it does look nice. I will say that. They did a very good job.
Yeah, I've been down there. They've been working really, really hard. They were there all weekend.
Yeah.
A ton of people working, really putting in a lot of effort.
They did. And they really dressed it up nicely. So, it's not one of those things where we want people going to parks and doing things not supposed to be doing. But at least they did a good job making it look nice. Just let us know going forward is all we ask for. And, especially Dennis, just get his sign off because he wants what's best for the parks too. And he absolutely would have approved it. He just wanted to know. So we'll do that. But it does look good. Any questions? No. That is all I have. Certainly open for open discussion if anybody has any topics you want to bring up. Looks like nothing. You guys can certainly make a motion to adjourn. Otherwise, I could sit here and talk all night. I have plenty of time.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting, 7:31.
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
All in favor?
Right.
All right.
All right, everybody stay safe.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You as
Bye,
well.
everybody.
I won't
You did a great job, Dan.